The Travels of Tut and Cat.
Written by Carolyn Rose Weaver, illustrated by Brandon Bolt.
I am Tutankhamun. I am Tutankhamun. Just call me Tut. That's what my friends and family call me. Even people who've never met me call me Tut. You may ask, how could people who have never met me know my name? That's a good question. They know me because I'm a famous king. I'm the king of Egypt. How many 9-year-old kings do you know? Not many, I guess. It's hard to be king. I have grown-ups who help me, though. Do you have grown-ups who help you? One of the best things about being king is I can travel. I go pretty much anywhere I want. I'm king after all. I take along my best friend on my trips. Her name is Cat. Guess what? Cat is a cat. She's little and furry. I got her for my birthday. I was happy to get her. We've been best friends ever since. Cat and I have had some interesting travels in our days. We met a man named Baba and his son, Amoy. On one trip, Baba and Amoy learned a lesson. It was about trying to please others. Maybe you will learn a lesson from their story, too.
Baba, Amoy, and the Little Brown Donkey.
When Cat and I met Baba, he was walking down the road to his farm. He led a little brown donkey by a rope. On the back of the donkey sat Baba's son, Amoy. Amoy rode on the donkey while his father walked. I wanted to pet the donkey. I asked Baba to stop. Baba stopped to let me pet him. I put Cat on the donkey's back with Amoy. Amoy began to pet her. She liked that. Amoy liked her, too. We all became friends. Baba said they had work to do at the farm. They had to keep going and could not stop any longer. They asked us to walk with them to the farm. Cat and I had nothing better to do, so I said yes. I walked beside Baba. I asked him questions about his farm. Amoy and Cat rode on the donkey. Amoy petted Cat the whole way. Cat purred and purred. We walked along together. Soon we passed some men resting on a stone bench. They looked at me. They looked at Baba. They looked at Amoy, Cat, and the donkey. They looked the longest at Amoy, Cat, and the donkey. Then they said loudly,
"Look at Bubba. He walks on this hot day. Yet his son rides a fine donkey. Amoy is spoiled. Bubba has spoiled his son rotten. It's a terrible, terrible shame."
Baba heard what they said. He did not like it. We kept walking. Baba did not talk. I knew he was thinking. At the farm, I thanked them for the walk. Amoy gave Cat to me. "May we walk with you tomorrow?" I asked. "We're spending some days in your town before we go on to other spots." We agreed to meet in the same spot the next morning. Cat and I got to the meeting spot early the next morning. We saw them coming. As they got close, we saw something odd. Baba was riding. He looked funny because he was too big for the donkey. Amoy walked near them. He tried to keep up. I wanted to laugh. Baba looked funny. His feet were almost dragging the ground. I didn't want to be rude. I smiled when they got near us. I wanted to ask Baba why he was riding. I wanted to ask why Amoy was walking. Then I recalled the men. I recalled how they said Baba spoiled Amoy by letting him ride. I recalled how Baba was upset by what they said. I kept quiet. I gave Cat to Baba. He began to pet her. He didn't seem to like her as much as Amoy. Cat didn't care. Any petting was good for her. I walked with Amoy. I asked him about his work on the farm. It was easier for Amoy to walk with me. Time passed quickly as we talked. Cat enjoyed her ride. Baba looked uncomfortable. The donkey was tired from carrying him. neared the stone bench. The same men were resting on it as before. They looked at Baba and Cat on the donkey. They looked at Emily and me. They looked back at Baba, Cat, and the donkey. They looked with hard eyes. We heard the men say,
"There goes Bubba riding a fine donkey. He even lets his kitty cat ride. Look at his poor son. He must walk in the dusty road. The poor boy walks while Bubba rides like a king. He is a mean father. He treats his son poorly. It's a terrible, terrible shame."
Baba heard what the men said. I could tell he did not like it. He did not say a word, but Emily and I knew he did not like it. As we headed onto the farm, I could tell Baba was thinking. I knew Baba and Emily had work to do, so I bid them good day. I told them how much I liked walking with them. I told them we would meet them again the next morning. The next morning we waited at the same spot. Soon we saw an odd sight. Baba rode the donkey. Emily rode behind him. Emily held tightly to his father's waist to avoid slipping. The donkey did his best to carry the two. He walked slowly. His tongue hung out. He was hot and tired. I wasn't sure what to do. Baba reached down for Cat. There was no place for her to sit. Baba put her on the donkey's head. Cat liked riding there. Because the donkey walked slowly, I could walk beside them. I kept up easily. They asked me about being king. I told them all about it. As before, we passed the men lounging on the bench. They looked at Cat, Baba, and Emily on the donkey. They looked at me walking beside the donkey. They looked at me a long time. The men said so that we could clearly hear.
"Look at Bubba and his son. They ride that fine donkey. They even let their kitty cat ride. Look at their friend. He has to walk in the dusty, hot road. What kind of friends are they? They ride in style while their friend trudges in the dust. They are poor excuses for friends. It's a terrible, terrible shame."
I looked at Baba. I could tell he heard the men. I could tell he did not like what they said. He did not like it at all. I wanted to tell them that I did not mind walking. I wanted to say that I liked walking. I also wanted to say that they were fine friends. I wanted to say that the men did not know what they were talking about at all. I thought about it for a bit. I decided to say nothing. I am king, but I am a child. I did not want to be rude to grown-ups. I walked on beside the donkey. At the farm, Baba gave Cat to me. Emily said he liked hearing about my life. "Will you tell us more tomorrow?" he begged. I could not tell my friend no. I agreed to meet them at the same spot the next day. The next morning we waited at the same spot. Baba and Emily approached on the donkey. The donkey looked tired. I expected Baba to take Cat. I expected to walk as I had before. That's not what happened. Baba took Cat. He put her on the donkey's head. She settled down. She recalled the fine ride she'd had. Baba took my hands. He pulled me up in front. It was tight. I was almost on the donkey's neck. I told Baba I liked walking. He would not hear it. He held my waist. I could not slip. The donkey walked slowly. We were heavy, but he bore the load. His tongue hung out as he walked. It was hard to talk sitting in a row, so we sang. They taught me songs. I taught them songs. We sang and sang as the donkey walked. I felt sorry for him, but he seemed to like our songs. He walked faster. We neared the bench. There sat the men. They stared at us. We felt funny. We stopped singing and heard them say,
"Look at Bubba, Amoy, and that boy. How mean they are to the poor donkey. He can't carry so many. Look, they put their kitty cat on his head. They are cruel, I tell you. The donkey must be taken away from them. It's a terrible, terrible shame."
Baba did not like that. We could tell he was thinking. He did not like to be called cruel. He did not want to lose the donkey. He needed him to work the farm. Cat and I bid them good day at the farm. They thanked me for joining them. They asked me to meet them the next morning. I had only 2 more days in their town. I wanted to spend part of those days with them. As planned, Cat and I met Baba and Amoy in our spot on the road. This time they were both on foot. They led the donkey by a rope. He pranced behind them. He was used to carrying loads. He was happy just to walk. I fell in with the father and son. Amoy asked to carry Cat. I showed him how to fold his arms so that she could ride safely. The 3 of us walked along with the little brown donkey, enjoying the nice morning. We heard laughter as we passed the bench. Why would they laugh? We thought. They had been serious when we passed, and they said Amoy was spoiled. They had been serious when they called Baba a mean father. They had been serious when they called him a bad friend. They had been serious when they called him cruel. Why would they laugh? We soon learned why.
Hee hee,
Said one.
look at silly Bubba. Ha ha,
Said another.
he's so foolish. Ho ho,
Said a third.
he has a fine donkey and doesn't ride it.
I didn't look at Baba. I knew he wouldn't like what they said. On we walked. I didn't expect Baba to talk. I thought he would think as he had before. Baba said,
I let Amoy ride. They said I spoiled him. I rode. They said I was mean. Amoy and I rode while you walked, Tut. They said I was a bad friend. We all rode. They called me cruel. They even spoke of taking my donkey. Today, we all walked. They laughed and called me foolish. I think they are right for once. I have been foolish. I was foolish for listening to men who have nothing to do but sit on a bench. Well, I've learned a lesson. From now on, whoever is most tired shall ride. The others shall walk.
I like the idea. I said, it's fair. Whoever is most tired should ride. We reached the farm. We agreed to meet the next morning. The next morning we waited for our friends. We saw them coming from a long way. They walked along carrying the donkey. Baba was carrying most of him. Amoy helped as best he could. They stopped when they reached us. Let me guess, I said, the donkey was most tired. Baba smiled.
I said that whoever was most tired would ride. I'm a man of my word. However, I know a new road. That goes to my farm. I'd like to show it to you today, friend.
Let me guess, I said and smiled. The new road doesn't pass any benches, does it? Baba smiled. He shifted his hold on the donkey.
You are wise, King Tut. No one will ever call you foolish.
We laughed, talked, and sang as we carried the little brown donkey down the road.
Thank you for reading our story. We'll come back soon with the next story is our trip to the Great Pyramid. Please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.